Welcome to Botanical Trails Through the Juniper Forest. I'm your host, Brian Heater. Each week, I'll have a different guest join me to explore a pair of interesting gins. We'll chat a little bit about the gin and the distilleries, throw in a bit of trivia, hopefully laugh a bit, and then we'll go off the beaten path. Although I say that this is a podcast about gin, really this is just an excuse for me to spend time with my friends. But that'll just be our secret. Okay, let's start exploring. My guest for episode 8 is Jim Garzaloni. Jim, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
You bet. You are our farthest away guest. So when I first was thinking of this idea and guest to have, you are obviously someone right at the top, but you live in San Francisco, and I just didn't think it was going to be possible. I'm not tech savvy enough to try to do some type of video, audio podcasting. I can barely get this thing up and running. But it ended up you were home for spring break, and you got a chance to come to our giant studio. So thank you very much. I hope we met all the conditions of your rider.
Well, the M&M's thing, I'm still waiting to see.
We're still trying to remove all the green. It's a very popular color. So,
well, let me know when that happens.
So, I was thinking of what the topic could be for our gins for your episode. So, I almost want to say San Francisco gins, but they're not both based out of San Francisco, but right in that area. So, San Francisco-ish gins, I guess I would call this episode. But the first one is actually from a distillery that you and I have been to. It is St. George, and we are trying their Botanivore gin. So
I always forget which well, let's taste it. But then because I'll talk to you about because there's two that I remember from being there.
Yes, then they do 3 or 4 now. So
right.
I think 3 when we were there.
It smells good.
It's a good gin.
Yeah, it is good.
So today we're having these as gin and tonics. I went with my favorite, the Fever Tree Mediterranean tonic, and a little dash of lime, and that's what we're having. So the St. George Botanivore gin, they call it their botanical eater. They describe it as a symphony of flavor comprised of 19 different botanicals. They say, think of it as a meadow in bloom. Herbaceous, I probably pronounced that wrong, fresh, and elegant.
I think you got it.
I think I got it.
Yeah,
nice.
Well done. Yeah.
This is actually considered a classic London dry gin. So, the gin is in. That website I describes it as spicy and green all at the same time. Lots of complexity, but an uncanny balance, and is a gin that embodies the best of what contemporary gin can be. St. George Spirits was established in 1982. They were the first small American distillery since Prohibition. In 2004, they moved to their current location at the Alameda Naval Air Station. That's where we
saw
went and toured.
Yep.
We got to tour and see their distilling complex. It is a 65,000 square foot airplane hangar. In 2011, they released their 3 gins, which include the Botanivore that we're having, their Terrier gin, which they say tastes like redwood trees, but in a good way, and then their dry rye.
Yeah, I don't know that one does taste like in a good way. That was what I was wondering. It tastes like you just are eating a pine tree. So if if you're on that show alone and you just want to eat a branch, a pine branch. I want to be nice about it, but it's like somebody just shoved a Christmas tree down your throat, essentially.
And then a few years later, they released their dry rye Reposado gin. Yeah. They also distill whiskeys, vodka, brandy, liqueurs, absinthe. Which we tried. They were the first legal absinthe in the U.S. And then
that'll be a later podcast, the Absinthe podcast. But for that, we have to go down to the basement.
And then they do a couple of other unique spirits. Now, what I found interesting is So they, this distillery started in 1982. They did not start making gin until 2011.
And weren't they all vodka?
They were doing vodka. They started off as like whiskeys, but the reason they ended up getting into gin is their master distiller, the person who became his future bride, asked him why he was not making her favorite spirit, which was gin, and then that's how they ended up releasing those 3 gins. So that's the first gin we're going with, because it's one of the first distilleries like I ever toured.
Right.
And that was a really cool place, being that old Naval Air Station. We got like those dog tags, if you remember.
Well, we got in free because my friend was the architect who designed it. Remember Christy?
Oh, Chris. Oh, yeah.
And so you and I got to go for free.
Yeah, that place was great. It was. They were super nice on the tour. Now, the bad thing is they're not doing tours right now. They stopped doing them during COVID. And based on their website, they are still currently not having tours. They're trying to put something together where it's going to be safe and just a great experience for everybody. But as of at least this week, when I was doing my research, they still aren't doing tours, it looks like.
Well, they used to do a thing where you could rent out the bar with friends, and then they would give you a bartender, and you could all go behind the bar, and they would teach you how to use their gin and whiskey and all the other stuff they had to make drinks. Yeah, so you could just have a party with your friends making drinks. And I don't know if do you recall that. Well, I don't know. I can't speak for you, I guess, but we started doing the shots that they give you, and you see the tasting. And luckily, we took a taxi there. And I remember we weren't even 3 or 4 in, and I thought this is going to go sideways. This is going to go bad.
And I also felt like we ended up getting like extra somehow. Like, they're like, this is what we normally do, but they're like, hey, here's a few more you can try.
Well, yeah, because the contractor was also like a guy I knew, and so we got to taste the Gateway whiskey. Remember the Gateway whiskey, among other things.
And I do have to say, one of my favorite things from them that I still will buy if I can find it, they do a single malt whiskey.
That's the Gateway whiskey.
So good.
Right.
And I have a bottle of that here still. And I still have a little bit of that absinthe.
Oh, wow. Well, this show's going to get crazy.
Yeah, wait till segment 2.
Right. Yeah, when we crack the absinthe. And this is the bonus track.
So have you been back to that distillery since we went?
Mm-mm. Which I always talk about, I'm going to go and we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And I haven't gotten back over there since we went that one time.
Yeah.
But we tasted the pine tree gin, don't you remember?
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I didn't get that one this episode. Yeah. I was like, I don't think Jin's going to want to go for that one. So, but I was like, I think this one, we'll give that a shot. And just a couple episodes I had done, like the London Dry, a show on London Dry, and with this being a London Dry, I thought it'd be fun to bring this one back out and try, because I really haven't had this since I was out there with you. Like, I don't see this in like restaurants and stuff here around Grand Rapids. So
yeah, you see it around San Francisco, obviously. A lot.
Yep. I'm sure it's kind of a staple there. So.
Yeah, it's tasty.
Yeah,
it's really tasty.
And it wasn't too far. It's just like Alameda is just the other side of the bay, over by Oakland. And we just kind of like went over there, and it's a big old naval base. They got a ton of those naval bases out there.
Yeah, it was Hangar 1 vodka.
Yes, Hangar 1 vodka.
Because it was in Hangar 1. Yes. And that's where they got the name Hangar 1 vodka. And then
it's funny because that started showing up here, and I'd be like, I've been to that distillery, and you know what? That's when I was more of a vodka drinker back then. So
you were. Those were the dark days. The dark days of vodka.
But yeah, that place was it was so big, and they even talked about like when they first started, like. Or at least on their website, they were describing, it's 65,000 square feet. Like, how are we going to fill it up? And they filled that thing. I mean, there wasn't a lot of, like, excess space just laying around there when we went through there, so. Well,
and wasn't it the guy who made the whiskey was the one who bought the distillery?
Yeah, he
was already making Hangar 1. And then he volunteered to work for free there because he wanted to work on this whiskey he was working on, if I recall Now, granted, the tour was after we did the tasting, so some of this stuff's a little hazy. Little hazy. Yeah, right. I could be insta-facting as we speak. Who knows? But the guy just volunteered for them and started making, because he wanted to work on his whiskey on the side.
Yeah, I think he was like their first employee.
Yes,
or whatever.
And then he ended up buying it from them.
And they, on their website, they have a really cool like timeline that kind of just shows like all the different spirits that they got into, like when they introduced them and everything. So my 3 listeners can go and like double check our facts. So
Right.
we'll just make stuff up as we're
Right.
going along.
Well, I mean, I'm sure this company is going to be blown away by the free publicity that I hope they
Most have been.
I hope they crank up production at the Alameda plant after this goes out, after this episode airs, because viral.
Yeah. Yep. We're a touchstone now in the gin community.
Yeah, right. They better add 3 more bottles to the production line. Crank it up, boys.
Sorry that I was drinking eating a peanut and taking a sip at the same time, and then you cracked that joke, and the host almost went down. So
Yeah, I had a friend that was at the height of COVID, like at the beginning of COVID, when everybody was super paranoid about getting it. My buddy was eating peanuts in line at Home Depot, and he sucked one down and started coughing, like just out of control coughing, and it cleared out the whole checkout line. He was like yelling out, "No COVID, peanut!"
because everybody got super paranoid. Yeah,
I thought he had it.
Now, your friend, the architect, is she the one who also then designed that tiny house that you lived in?
Yeah.
For a little while?
Yep, that was the brick house. Yep.
And how big was that place?
90 square feet.
What? It was that small?
Yeah. Yes. Well, yeah, 9 by 10, not including a loft bed. So the
You walked in
9
and
by
there was
10.
what, like a couch? There was the stairs.
/ bed on the right.
You had like a mini kitchen?
Mini kitchen. And then there was the desk / kitchen table / ping pong table.
Okay.
Mini ping pong table.
And was the bathroom upstairs?
The bathroom was upstairs.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was a wet room where you could be sitting on the toilet and showering at the same time. It was efficient. It was efficient.
It was very efficient. I mean, it was a cool little spot.
Yeah.
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 That was a fun little place. But I didn't realize it was that small. Wow.
Yeah, it was that small. It was. Did you stay there? Did you come? You stayed there, didn't you?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Okay. I remember that day.
Yep. Do you?
Up to a point. Up to a point. Yeah. We went to Zeitgeist. Enough said there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Then you took a nap, and I stopped out for tacos for about 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, that, you remember the armory that's like kitty corner from kind of near Zeitgeist? That big brick building?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Well, that became a porn studio. Well, that whole place.
Oh, yeah. Were they like offering tours or something?
Tours, yeah, you could get a tour.
Yeah.
Kink.com, I believe, was it's no longer there anymore. But
oh, no? They had to move to a bigger spot?
Yeah. Business is just, then the pandemic hit, and
that's all
most places closed down. That place they had to increase their capacity. But yeah, no, then they moved out, and now it's like they're trying to put a jazz thing in there. So,
Like a jazz bar?
No, like a whole jazz studio thing.
Oh, for like jazz bands to come and record?
I don't even quite know.
Do all that jazz?
Yeah, right. Only in San Francisco do you go from a porn studio to a jazz venue. That's just, what happens.
I always liked our idea to open a butcher shop there next to that. What was that?
The vegan grocery store.
Yeah, what was that place called in the Mission that you
Rainbow Grocery.
Yeah, Rainbow Grocery. And then we were going to open Eat My Meat Butcher.
Yeah, that was genius. We wouldn't be doing this podcast. Well, actually, we would. This would be all we'd be doing because we'd be rich.
Yeah.
We'd have sold it.
That was one of the better ideas I felt we've come up with.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the other good ones that we just never acted on, but it was a funny idea.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. You want a neon sign, too, that's just buzzing right next to the vegan eat my meat butchers. Just taunting them. Taunting them. That would have been... We would have sold it to Elon Musk, probably, and we'd
So you've lived in 4 or 5 different neighborhoods in San Francisco?
Yeah. So
started off in like Haight-Ashbury?
So technically the Western Addition would be the first neighborhood I lived in. And then Haight-Ashbury / Cole Valley. Then the Mission. Then Bernal. Then the Mission again.
Was that the tiny houses in the Mission?
The tiny houses in the Mission. Mission Part 2.
And now you're out in...
Ingleside.
Yes, Ingleside. What would you say has been your favorite neighborhood?
Well, I mean, it just depends on... I mean, either the Mission or where I live right now, Ingleside, probably. The Mission, because I was, young, and it was fun, and
but there are a lot of cool stores there. Like, there's that one shoe store we went to where we got those Pumas,
right?
That were great. You totally got me addicted to Pumas. Getting those,
right?
Old, like they looked like old English soccer
boots.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got those.
That's where we were the California fires.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was Halloween of like 2004.
Yeah, talk about like we were seeing into the future. That was a costume that was about 15 years ahead of its time. Right there.
I mean, there were some fires going on at the time. I mean, it was really a terrible costume even then, but now it would be just awful.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, we were trying to find Halloween costumes that year because Halloween is like the high holiday in San Francisco.
Yeah, right.
And we were going out that night.
Right.
And if I remember correctly, we were originally thinking about like Mexican wrestling masks and kind of doing something along those lines.
Right.
But then I had brought out like those wigs that looked like
the
Heat Miser wigs from that Christmas special when we were kids, or the Christmas show, Heat Miser and Ice Miser.
Mr. Heat Miser.
And then somehow, I don't even remember how we came up with it, but then we ended up getting like red graduation gowns.
Yeah.
A little pine tree.
Yeah, we found a couple little pine trees. And like red gloves.
And red makeup.
And red turtlenecks.
Oh, yeah, red turtlenecks.
Yeah, we were completely red head to toe. And the red makeup was...
And we called ourselves the California Fires, and everyone wanted to get their picture with us in the bars. Everyone thought it was really unique.
Right. Everybody from Japan got their picture taken. Every person in Japan of that age has a picture with us from that night. Everyone. You go there, and even now, and they'd be like, oh.
We're probably in billboards in Tokyo.
We don't even know it. Right. Somebody's making a lot of money off of us right now.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like, I'm big in Japan, that Tom Waits tune. That's us. That is us.
Yeah, that was a fun night.
Yeah, so that neighborhood was fun because you know.
Who's the author? Is it Dave Eggers has that like
826
in the neighborhood there?
Yep. Yeah, but still there. Let's survive the pandemic too.
That's good.
So that was fun. But moving back to a second time, I was older, more tired, and it went, edgy and fun became, scary and dirty, and so now right now my favorite neighborhood is where I live, but most people don't really know that neighborhood. So
yeah, because it's what, on the western edge of like the Golden Gate Park?
No, it's southwest. It's like west of, or southwest, but it's east of 19th Avenue. This means nothing to anyone, but I don't even know how to. It's like south central a little bit, kind of.
But you're closer to the beach and stuff there, right?
Yes. Yep. Close to the beach, more mellow, suburban-ish.
Yeah, it's a nice neighborhood. I was just out there Halloween, and you were working the first couple days, and I would just go out and hit a restaurant for lunch and grab a coffee or.
Yeah, the weather sucks in that neighborhood, though.
The weather's just weird in San Francisco to begin with.
Yeah.
I do find it is quite amazing to me, since I don't live there, how you can be in just like a different part of the city. You're really not that far from it, and it is like 20 degrees difference. And it was maybe sunny and blue skies, and then it's like foggy and cold. And what is it, Mark Twain, right? Coldest winter I ever spent was a summer in San Francisco.
Yeah. I'm not sure if he actually said that, though. I was one of those ones that's like, whether he said it or not. But it is, I mean, you don't need to own shorts. or anything. I mean, it's like when I moved out there, I thought I was moving to California.
Yeah.
And
the other thing I love about that city is just all the super distinct neighborhoods.
yes. Yep, that is good. That is, you can sort of just hunker down in your section of town, and you really don't need to go anywhere else. You have everything in your
Yeah, but you could
neighborhood.
also go to like Chinatown, or you can go to the Mission, which is kind of seems
Right.
Mexican influenced, or there's the Italian side of town.
Right. Next time you come, we're going to go. I went bar hopping in Chinatown the other night, and oh, man, was that crazy. Yeah.
Did you get some dumplings?
Did I get what?
Dumplings?
No. This is just bar hopping. This is just like
you weren't
going
getting
to-
appetizers or anything.
No. This was just purely drinking, and went to some pretty fun bars that I think it's definitely one of those.
Good time.
Something great.
Yeah.
If we go, something's going to happen. That's
That's awesome.
I mean, usually when you come out, we have
We've never not. We've had some disasters of trips.
disasters. I was
That's always when we venture outside the city. If we stay in the city limits, it's always a good time. It's when we decide we're going to try to go like off into the woods, like far. Not if it's within driving distance of like your place, it's always fine. But it's when we're like, hey, we're going to go camping.
right.
It always turns into a slight disaster.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, talk about off the beaten path. That doesn't go well usually.
You literally left me for collateral one time at a place that was fixing your car. You're like, I'm leaving him here. I'll go get the money. I'm obviously not going to leave him, but I need my car to go get money.
Well,
And they just had me sit in a seat, kept a loaded gun on me, and then waited for you to shoot.
yeah. Well, it was touch and go. My return, actually, I was sort of debating. It was like my car. I mean, it was a couple thousand for that fix, and I was like, not really sure that you were worth a couple thousand. I debated it, but I came back and got you, and here we are.
And then we went back with our tail between our legs. Right back to the safety of San Francisco.
Right.
All right. Well, I will go get our drinks ready for segment 2.
Okay. Excellent. I'm gonna choke on a peanut.
All right. We are back for segment 2. A quick note, there is a thunderstorm rolling in, and it's going to last for a while, so we're just going to roll with the punches. And
Cheers to the thunderstorm.
yes, and
Cheers.
also hope that we don't lose power. So
Things could well, it'll be fun on our end if
Yeah.
there's power.
Yeah.
If we have to come back after losing power, things could go really bad.
Yeah.
Then because there's only one thing to do, which is to drink. Right?
yes,
During the blackout?
we'll light a candle and drink some gin.
Yeah.
So,
right. So
yes.
then this could. Yeah. Well, stay tuned.
Here we go. So our second gin is from San Francisco. It is called, how does it again?
Junipero.
Junipero.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like Junipero, but Junipero gin. Mm-hmm. So give this one a little taste.
Yeah.
A little bit different flavor.
It's
the
different.
same concoction. It is the Mediterranean gin with a little bit of lime again.
What is the Mediterranean gin? Like, what does that mean?
Oh, I'm sorry. Mediterranean. It's the Fever Tree Mediterranean tonic.
Oh, tacos. Okay,
Sorry,
yeah.
tonic.
Sorry.
Yes. Nope, you're fine. So, all right, this gin, the gin is in, describes it as the flavor profile is incredibly classic, yet the botanical blend strives in some novel directions. One of the botanicals is cardamom, and they were sort of using that a full decade and a half before other distillers started using it and became more popular. But it is one of 11 botanicals that they use in this gin. So, the distiller was originally Anchor Distilling Company. Fritz Maytag, who bought Anchor Brewing back in 1965, started the Anchor Distilling Company in 1993.
You know where that is. We've been by there.
We've been by there, yes.
Yeah.
He started making whiskey and then eventually expanded into gin and Genever. The creation of Junipero was seen as effectively starting the movement towards high-end craft gin in the U.S. At the time, you could normally buy a bottle of gin for about $10 to $15. He started selling this at $30 a bottle. So,
what was the year on this again?
The company started in 93. So probably a couple years after that.
The distilling started.
The distilling started in 1993. They started doing whiskey, and then eventually they moved into the gin. So it is now actually Hotaling and Company, Hotaling. So in 2017, Anchor Brewing was sold, and although Anchor Distilling is separate from them and was not part of the sale, they relinquished the rights to use the Anchor trademark. So the new name is Hotaling and Company. It is a reference of one of Anchor's small batch whiskeys when they first started, and is named after a San Francisco legend, A.P. Hotaling, who came out west during the gold rush and became a spirits dealer. So, and now you were mentioning before I hit the record button, so if you wouldn't mind going back and kind of telling the story of where Junipero maybe gets its name from.
Well, I mean, so Junipero Serra, I think, was like Father Serra, I think, was some sort of Spanish mission who... I know he was a Jesuit, I think. Yeah. I don't think history has been too kind to him. I think he was kind of not a great person, but I think he founded the Mission Dolores, which is the Mission neighborhood, and you can actually visit the Mission Dolores when you come. And that's where the Mission area gets its name. Yes. From. Yeah. And so that's Father Serra. And so if you go to San Francisco, there's like Junipero Serra Boulevard and all these, different things. And I could be wrong, but I think he may have been up for sainthood. Oh. But I could be wrong on that. Like, could be going through that process now, potentially? Yes. Like, what you read, they give you some sort of, like, there's levels, right? It's like you get nominated, and then I think a couple miracles have to be performed in your name. I believe three. But you go from there's like levels. It's like AAA baseball, but for it's like promotion and relegation. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, right. If you at any point, if your batting average is too low, you're never going to get out of the AAA, and so that's. And I don't know if he's stuck in AAA or if he's in the bigs. I don't really know. Okay. We'd have to call the Pope to get that, and. Last thing I knew, he was wearing a puffer jacket online, so seems like he's in the hospital, so I don't know that he's going to take that call. All right, may not work out. But maybe if we lose power, they'll give us a little time to somehow, so maybe hold on for that. Now, we decided in segment 2, we would try little samples of both of the gins, so... What do you think about this? I like this one. It definitely. I mean, is this the part where did we ever talk about the gin? We can. It's a podcast about gin. If you want to get technical. Boring, right? Like, at some point, are we gonna? It would be great. Go ahead. Did we like the first gin? Like, did we even? We didn't talk. Did we like? We didn't, but we can talk about them both because we get to try each again. Oh, okay. Yes. Well, in the gin and tonic form, though, that first one, did we talk about that one? Not too much. I enjoyed it. Yeah. So I had, like I said, the last segment, the St. George's, I had not had since I had been out when we had toured that place, which was probably like, I don't know, 2011 or 12, maybe. That was a long time ago. Yeah. But I enjoyed it. Like, it was a good gin and tonic. Yeah. Since I hadn't had it so long, I experimented this past weekend. I tried it with both the Fever Tree Light Premium Tonic, which it actually went well with, but I preferred it a little bit more with the Mediterranean. The gin we're currently enjoying, I received as a Christmas present this year. Oh, really? Yep. And so... Just by chance you got that? Just totally by chance. Wow. Yeah. Yep. Wow. And I did not give you this... Let's be... Full disclosure. No, I did not give you... So this is not a setup. No, this wasn't a setup. No, this came from one of my sisters. So okay. Yes. And I experimented again with it with a couple, and again, I just settled on... I just felt the Mediterranean tonic complemented it the best. But I feel this one definitely tastes different than the first one. Mm-hmm. Because I don't think... Let me just take a quick glance at the bottle here. Like, I don't think they describe this as a... Yeah, they don't describe this as like a... Well, they say they made by hand in the classic distilled dry gin tradition. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they're both kind of dry gins, that classic kind of based around a London style. But I feel this one,
let's cut to the chase. Let's cut to the chase. Which one do you like better? The gin and tonic. Do you like the first one we had with the gin and tonic, or you like this one?
I like both, but this is what I find it. No, real quick. Both. But this is what it.
We're not being sponsored by.
I know. Can you give me 2 seconds?
The three people who are listening to this, You're not going to lose. If you lose viewership,
it doesn't hurt anything.
We're really concerned we might lose 2/3 of the viewership tonight and be down to one listener. That's good.
I can always bank on my mom.
Okay,
so.
Good. All right. Hey, Carol.
No.
Hey, Carol. Hey, Carol, Amy, and Lori. Help me.
So this is what I find interesting. I will say this.
Okay.
The St. George's has 19 botanicals in it. Real quick, this one has 11.
If you say the word forward, though, then we have to do a shot directly out of the bottle at any... I've decided that's a rule. I'm right now.
You're enacting this rule.
You're enacting a rule. If you say the word forward at any point, then we have to go directly from the bottle, cannonball.
Okay.
Cannonball.
We will do that. But I feel this gin tastes more complex than the other one, which surprises me because it has about half the number of botanicals, if that makes sense.
Okay, but which one do you like better?
Hang on, let me try this one again.
I've been talking. See, I move away to California, and this is what happens to the guy. Jesus Christ.
I think I like them both if I was craving a gin and tonic. Well, I always crave a gin and tonic. If I had to choose between the two, I think I would go with the St. George's.
So would I.
Okay. But let's try it straight now and see if it changes our mind.
Okay, and this is good. Don't get me wrong.
They're both good.
I
yes.
like this one.
No,
I like this one.
No, they're both good.
But in terms of a sunny, warm day, you're in your backyard.
Yes.
You filled the kiddie pool, right?
Yep.
And you're sitting in the kiddie pool.
Got your Ray-Bans on.
You got your Ray-Bans on. You have a bad sunburn going, but you don't care, and you want a gin and tonic. I think you pour the first one.
Yes, I would agree.
This one, though, might be better in a more interesting cocktail, though.
Exactly, yes. Yeah. I mean, it tastes more complex.
Yeah, well.
Okay. You want to try it?
Oh, wait, which one are we trying?
I was going to try the...
That's a good idea. This one, and then go back to the... That's a good idea. Let me cleanse my palate.
I was going to try the... What'd you say? Junipero?
Junipero.
Mm-hmm. I'm terrible at pronouncing things. I'm not sure why.
That is a horrible. Nobody's going to get. The only reason I even could do that is because I heard it said.
Just in general, I just struggle with pronouncing things. I'm not sure why. I think
that because it looks nothing like the way you'd pronounce that using the standard English.
Well, I got this one for Christmas. I was talking on the phone. I was like, "Hey, I got this gin from San Francisco, Junipero," and you're like, "I think it's Juniper," or. Anyhow, I screwed up. You know what I mean. Okay, we're trying.
Hold on. I'm cleansing. I'm cleansing here.
All right.
And I think I choked on one of those peanuts that you had a problem with before.
Yeah, I may have to rethink the peanut.
Yeah, right. Your salty nuts are a bit of a problem on the show. You're sweaty.
All right, let's give this one a try.
Sniff it. Oh my God, this smells like acetone. I didn't want to drink this.
It's pretty smooth.
Man, it smells like acetone. That's scary.
Don't smell it so much. You're fine.
I feel like if I painted my fingernails, I could use it to take it off. I'm really worried. Oh, it's really smooth though.
It is, yeah.
That's interesting.
Yep.
Acetone. Let's see. Yeah, that's really
smooth.
Interesting flavor on that.
It is. Yeah, and I can't place what it is, but it does have a very interesting flavor.
Okay, this is going to sound super weird.
It's fine.
It's almost a little bit chocolatey.
Oh, really?
I know that sounds incredibly weird, and I'm almost afraid to say that, but in the way that chocolate is sweet, but in a not a candy way, like not a sweet, but there's like something sweet, but like a chocolatey sweet versus versus like a a candy kind of thing.
I'm not sure.
Wow, that is interesting.
It doesn't list the botanicals on here.
There was no way after smelling that I would have any idea it was going to taste like that. No way.
Yeah, but it was good. Mm-hmm. That's why I was like, don't smell it that much. Like, it's going to be fine.
Oh, I'll smell it. I'll smell it.
All right, let's give the St. George's a try.
Okay. Brian has reached for a peanut, so be careful.
Just don't say anything funny.
Yeah. That's not possible when we're together. Come on.
That is true.
Brian and I met in first grade, right? Or you were in first grade. I was in second.
Yeah, let's do this, and then, we'll do that, because you and I have quite the history.
Yeah, we do.
So.
We do.
Let me take a sip of your water.
Okay, well, you should have gotten your own water.
Well, that's right.
Why would you? Yeah, well.
Okay, you ready?
They're on a water budget, apparently. Yeah. Things aren't going. We need more. You need more listeners.
I'm on a tight budget on this.
So you can afford your own your own glass of water. Hold on, because I don't want to taste it and be like, this one's got a peanutty kind of flavor to it. There's something, I don't know. It's got a little peanutty sort of a hint of peanuts. Let me finish the water. Hold on. I like your Michigan State shot glass. It's like,
oh, thanks.
For a second, I thought you had different gin than I had. I was there's some of that Wait, did you when Molly was on? You had the was that the gin that you and I bought when you came out last time too? Because it's like
when Miles was on?
There was a color. It's a colored sort of gin.
The Empress.
Yeah, because remember when you and I went over to Tom's before we went to see the concert?
Oh, right. What did we bring him?
Because you told me to buy this bottle because it was really good and it ended up being really tasty.
I think it was the Empress.
We made cocktails.
Yeah, he ended up that he had
it before.
Yeah, but I think it was the Empress. Yes, and that is one of the gins that I had when Mal's on, and she ended up liking it. And she really liked the combination that my sister Lori had come up with, which was the Empress with the elderflower tonic.
Oh yeah, well that's going to be a good. Yeah, we made some sort of cocktails with it.
Yeah, Tom made a cocktail.
Tom Collins, or we did something like that before we went to the show, right?
Yeah, it was. I don't think it was a Tom Collins. Was it? Maybe it was a Tom. No, we made Tom Collins for dinner 2 nights later.
We often eat Tom Collins for dinner when Brian and I are together.
Your buddy Tom. Was it a Tom Collins?
Not to be confused with Tom Collins. A lot of Toms here. A lot of Toms.
Yeah, there are. But I don't think he made a Tom Collins.
But we made some good cocktails with that thing.
Oh, they were tasty.
Because we had another gin that night too, remember? Then after that, we had a different one.
Yep.
Or we might have had that honey gin too that night.
That he had?
Yes.
Yes.
That was good.
I'd never had that before.
No.
And I can't even remember what it's called off the top of my head.
And have we ever had the I know I'm digressing here, but whatever. The tomato gin, have you had that one?
But I think it's the one from Italy.
I don't know where it's from, but he's had it because there is a bar which we should go to which I hope it still exists, called Whitechapel in San Francisco.
Okay.
And it is sort of the Whitechapel, like Jack the Ripper sort of. So it's this bar that's got a kind of a steampunk theme to it.
Okay.
And they have all these gins and so we went there one night, bunch of us, and you can get flights of gin there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and you can do tastings, and one of them, of course, we had to get the tomato gin, right? Whatever, but tomato, and it tastes exactly like a tomato, like an alcohol infused. It's very strange, but it was quite tasty.
Yeah, I think for some reason it sticks in my head that there's a gin from Italy. I thought that had some type of tomato.
I mean, it could be from. I don't know.
But I'm not positive.
Right.
So, but
yeah, but we should go there sometime
for sure. Okay,
I got to smell.
This is the St. George's.
Okay, let me smell.
It's not. I don't get as much of a scent off of.
No, it's not as acetone.
Not as. What would you call if something has a lot of smell to it?
Smelliferous.
A lot of fragrance. A lot of fragrance.
Smelly, stinky.
Right, just
stinky.
All right, give that a try.
Now I can't drink it because I'm laughing. Thank God I don't have a peanut in my mouth.
Okay, that's super smooth too.
That is. And definitely, again, this is going to sound whatever. that tastes more like a traditional sort of gin versus the...
That is so interesting. This tastes more like what I would imagine like a London Dry would taste like.
Right.
But it did not taste like that in the gin and tonic.
No, and I'm almost going to say, like, if you're going to do straight sipping, the Junipero gin is the way to go.
I would agree.
This is just a gin that's meant to be mixed with whatever. I mean, gin and tonic or whatever. But that Junipero gin really was very different. Straight. Yes. Really straight. Really, I don't want to say strange because it's interesting.
No, it was like the opposite of what it's like. I mean, it was like, I tasted that and I'm like, oh, this is like a London Dry gin. But the gin and tonic, it was like more complex and had like different flavors to it, I felt.
Yeah. Yeah, you could, that's weird. That Junipero gin would be a really interesting sipping.
Yeah.
Sort of.
It's a good one. So.
Right.
It's a good one.
Do you often just sip? I mean, you always just mix it. You don't ever, do you ever just drink straight gin?
Occasionally. Mm-hmm. I'll just pour it on the rocks.
Right.
I've actually learned, and I've mentioned this before, a way that you should, if you really want to try gin and kind of taste the botanicals, is you pour like a small little bit like this, and you add just a little, like, bit of water to it.
Right.
And somehow that's supposed to, like, open up the botanicals, and you can really taste, like, I guess the different botanicals. I haven't tried that yet. Mm-hmm. Yes, I tend to have gin and tonics. Occasionally, I'll just put it on the rocks.
Say it. Say the word. Say the word, Bryce. Say the word. You're dying to say it. Say the F word, baby. Say the F word. Say the F word and we're hitting that bottle straight away, baby. Say it!
So, you had mentioned, which is true, we met when I was in first grade. You were in second. So we have known each other 46 years.
Yeah.
We went through elementary school together,
46 years.
High school together, and college together.
We did.
Our school colors have always been green and white.
That's funny. I never thought about that, but that's true.
But I've known you about as long as I've known my sister Amy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Suck on that, Amy.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty amazing. I mean, it's not too often I meet friends who had a friend that one, like that they're that close to. Yeah. Like my last two guests, Andy and Dave, they're sort of like that. They met really young and they've been best friends like that.
Right.
They went to high school they went to high school and college together as well and everything. But it's pretty rare. So.
Right. Well, I mean, that's what Catholic school will do to you, right? Like you're bound forever in that sort of tortured chamber that you know.
Yeah, except by that theory, instead of state, we should have gone to Notre Dame. But we kind of broke away then.
Well, yeah, because Notre Dame's boring. And
state was not.
No, it was
state
not.
was great.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was fun.
Would you like to do round 2 of trivia?
Round 2 of trivia. Do we do round 1? Don't you have to do round 1 before you do round 2?
Wait, did we forget to do round 1 in the first segment?
There was no trivia.
Oh, geez.
Was there,
okay, wow.
Was there trivia?
We're butchering this one. Okay.
I mean, are we only going to have like 2 drinks this show? I mean, like it seems like we should have more than 2 drinks in this show.
See, I can pause and make another one.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to have
off the beaten path.
Yeah, well, okay. I think we need to have a third. I think off the beaten path requires its own gin and tonic. Right?
I'll make another one for off the beaten path.
And then we'll go to a third gin because off the beaten path, you've got to pick some off the beaten path.
Okay,
gin.
but I'll have to pick one that I've done in another show because I haven't done any other homework on any other gins.
Who cares? We don't need to do. Do we need to do homework on it? Okay, sorry, we're on the trip.
You're fine. I'm good.
I'm killing the format. Sorry.
No,
I came all this way and all I got were 2 fucking glasses of gin. Are you like? Come on. No, sorry.
All right, this will be the first explicit episode.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Sorry, Tipper Gore. Sorry. Okay, go on.
Did we really not do trivia in the first segment?
There's no.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So we're just gonna.
We did talk about Junipero Serra, but I don't remember.
No, that was.
I don't remember a card being held out for that.
All right.
And if this isn't easy, I'm going to be pissed because I've heard.
Well, you got a 50-50 chance. It's true or false.
Really? Okay, that's good. Fine.
Okay. Well,
whatever. I mean, I've heard some of the other questions people got.
I know.
And it was like.
All right. True or false?
Okay.
Quinine in tonic makes gin and tonic glow blue, under UV black light.
Oh, God damn it.
So again, true or false, quinine in the tonic makes a gin and tonic glow blue under a UV black light.
Oh, my God. Jeez, I want to believe that. I want to believe that so much.
Okay, you got a 50-50.
I know. It's a lot of pressure, though. That just seems too cool, but then who would make that up? I mean, under a black light? I mean, how is it possible that we went through college and didn't, like, have a gin and tonic under black light?
We were not, like, drinking gin back in college. It wasn't a big thing.
Of course we weren't.
So, that's why we don't know this.
No, that's false.
Ooh, it is true.
Damn it.
Quinine is a fluorescent alkaloid.
Really?
Yep.
I know it's a malaria thing.
Yeah, it helps to fight malaria.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Now you can ask. We're just going to bang them out back to back. And then I'll go make another cocktail for Off the Beaten Path, and this will be the longest episode ever.
Oh, see, this is... I remember... Place. We just listened to the Place episode, and he accused you of stacking the deck, and I'm going to go with Brian Place on this. And
I didn't stack the deck.
Oh, listen to this question, all of you listeners out there, you three people out there. Look at this. True or false? Your name is Brian. No, just kidding. So here, basically that is like you're right. Right, the two consonants in the word gin. Okay, a gin has to be made in London in order to be officially named a London Dry Gin.
That would be false.
Oh my gosh, this is the fix is in. Yeah, of course, false. London Dry Gin refers to the gin making method.
Yeah,
I got the quinine question. The blue light quinine question.
You were leaning towards being true.
I was leaning towards being true, but it just seemed too...
No, you're mad. Listen, I've known you most of your life. You're only mad because you just talk yourself out of the right answer.
I did. I don't like true and false questions. I want the essay long form.
All right.
Get the blue book out.
All right, this is going to be a first in Botanical Trails. We're going to take another break, make another drink, and then we're going to go off the beaten path.
Oh, we are. Oh, yes.
All right, we are back to go off the beaten path. Just real quick, we are doing a third gin. Also, the reason is Jim is spending the night, so he is not driving home.
Yeah, I don't need to drive back to San Francisco tonight.
Yeah, so, most of my other guests. We are actually doing...
We're in our jammies, actually, right now, too, where we're just to give you a little visual, we're wearing pajamas right now. Things are getting loose here at the show.
So our third gin and tonic is one from a previous show. We are doing the Lori created, Molly Murray approved Empress gin with the elderflower tonic.
Lori created this?
Lori was the one who was like, I always made it with Mediterranean because it's so good. And Lori's like, hey, let's try this with elderflower. And Lori did that. And I'm like, that's amazing.
No, Lori, you were not only an incredible football teammate in front yard football, but I didn't realize you were also a mixologist. So I just want to kudos to you. You were an incredible running back. But
she was a tough nose kid.
Oh, tough nose. She was great.
She was tough nose.
Great. We know you're still alive, Lori. But I know we're using past tense, but we're talking about
No, she's just sweet as can be now. But man, she would just lay you out back then.
Oh yeah.
She was ruthless.
Ruthless.
As a child.
Ruthless. Ruthless.
All right. Would you like to go first for Off the Beaten Path? Yes.
So that wasn't a question.
I mean, sort of, but
No, that wasn't. No.
I saw you hesitating just like in trivia, and I was trying to guide you to the right answer this time.
That's not guiding. That's not guiding.
No, I'm kidding. I can go first if you want.
No, I'll go, I guess. Okay, so I chose, which is weird. I'm not even sure why I chose this. It's been on my mind lately, I think, and I can't even give you a reason why it's been on my mind lately. A documentary from, and I actually had to look it up, but before we got out, I think it's from 1998. I don't think we saw this together, you and I.
Okay.
At the Red Vic in San Francisco, which is where we saw Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Yes, it was such a great movie.
Hashtag greatest night of our lives. Mew, 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 mew. Merci beaucoup. Merci. Beijing Mr. Herman. Mr. Herman. Anyway. So anyway, it was a documentary. It still exists. It is a documentary called The Cruise.
I don't think I've seen this.
No, and it's from 1998, and it is a documentary about a guy who gives Gray Line, I think it's Gray Line, his name, tours of Manhattan on like one of those double-decker buses or whatever. And it's, yeah, I know, and it is his belief. He refers to it as the cruise, as in it's like a lifestyle for him, and it is his belief that if he does it perfectly, like if he gives you the perfect tour of Manhattan, that it will change your life.
Wow.
And so he's not. I mean, this is going to sound a little bit judgy, but he's not totally sane, I would say, in some ways. I mean, someone that thinks that way is maybe not completely grounded. However, if you watch the documentary, it is hard to argue with the results or with like what he does. And I could see somebody going on the tour and being sort of profoundly changed by the energy and what he puts into the tour. And it's and then you also learn about his life. And it's is
he from Manhattan? So does he tie like his life into the tour?
He lives in Manhattan.
Did he grow up there? Do you know?
I don't think he did. I think he adopted Manhattan, like many people do, and like maybe moved there to rediscover himself, kind of thing. But I can't say that for sure. But it's super slow moving and. Seems like a type of thing that if someone just described it to you, you're like, oh my God, that's not going on my list at all. But it's just like about a person who does something so well that you have to appreciate it, is what it comes down to. And even something as simple as giving a tour of Manhattan can be done so well that, you know, that they basically are a virtuoso, and if you don't appreciate that, then, you know. But it's good. It's good. It's a good documentary.
It's called The Cruise.
It's called The Cruise. I actually think it's so old that you can just watch it in its entirety on YouTube or something like that.
Okay.
And I can't even remember his name. I think he has like some sort of nickname kind of thing. And it's.
See, the cruise director.
Yeah. Julie McCoy. I think. No, that was different show. That was a Love Boat, which was not virtuosic. Is that virtuosic? Can we just invented a
word? Sure.
A word, sure. Meryl Stooping. Gopher. Remember Gopher, right? Doc. Yeah. Wow.
And who's the bartender?
Grover. No, that was Sesame Street. Sorry. Damn it. Washington was his last name.
Yeah. It'll come to us.
Yeah, it'll come to us. Call in now if you can. You can. The phone lines are open right now. If you know. yeah. If one of you three knows who the bartender was, call in now. Please, the third caller wins tickets.
So the taping of the 10th episode.
Yeah, right, because we do have a section here of a viewing section.
That's great. That is the first documentary that we have had on Off the Beaten Path. So great selection. Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
So mine is thanks to you. Actually, my last two. The episode I just taped with Dave,
right,
as well as this one, are two things you had introduced me to.
Okay,
so I don't.
Fentanyl is not one of them.
No, it was cocaine. It was our first drug that came up. No, it was with Dave. It was actually Always, the band.
Oh yeah, so that was the show when we and this is
yep.
All right,
exactly.
This matches our drink right now.
Yeah. So for today's episode, my Off the Beaten Path is a series on Prime called 000.
Oh, that's so weird, right?
I think it's so well done, and I just don't hear people talk about it.
No.
It came out a couple of years ago, and basically it follows like a shipment of cocaine from
Right.
Mexico to Italy, and it kind of, the story revolves around three main cast of characters, which are sort of like a crime family in Italy that is ordering. They're the buyers of the cocaine.
Yes.
A cartel in Mexico, and kind of some dirty, like, they're in the army, if I remember correctly. They're
Yes.
the army.
Yeah.
Guys who help them. And then there's this American family based out of New Orleans that owns a shipping company, and they're like
transporting it. Right.
Yeah, they're the transporters. And
Right.
it's just a one season. Gabriel Byrne is in it. He's probably like maybe the only person.
I totally forgot that he was in it.
Yeah, he might be the only like
He doesn't
sort of
last
famous
long.
person.
Oh, sorry,
Spoiler.
He doesn't
Maybe not.
last. He doesn't last long because he goes somewhere else. He stays home.
But he might be the only person that, like, in terms of like a recognizable name.
Yeah, I forgot he was even.
It is just a super good, enjoyable series. Kind of gritty, definitely violent, but I thought it was just a really well done story.
It's just a one season too, kind of limited.
Yeah, just
so
a
you
one
don't have
season,
to like
yeah,
get
you
right.
don't-
Not 5 seasons of
Yeah,
it.
it's
Like,
not like,
kill me,
yeah.
God.
Oh, it's 4 seasons.
Yeah,
Thanks.
hi.
Thanks for the
Okay,
recommendation.
Right, now we're on to the grandson of the person that was in the first season.
Yeah,
Please
no, it's
stop.
just one season, maybe like 8 or 10 episodes.
Right.
I want to say.
Right.
So, do you know where the name 000 came from?
Did they mention it in the show?
I don't recall them mentioning it in the show. They may have, and it just like went right past me.
I don't know.
But I was doing a little bit of homework. So,
Wow.
Supposedly the series derives its name from the whitest, finest milled type of wheat flour, which has the symbol 000, and it's sort of the nickname for the purest cocaine that is out on the market.
Is that an Italian nickname, or is it just like a
said,
worldwide cocaine nickname?
It said the narco. What would it? Narco.
Right.
There's another name, but anyhow, it's among people who sell the drugs.
Wow.
That's where it comes from allegedly. But
We'll be trying some 00 in part 4 of tonight's afterward. That'll be part 4
That's the
tonight.
after-hours
That's
show.
that's the part 4 of tonight's show.
but I just thought it was a really, really well done series.
It was, and it sort of was one of those ones you just found it for whatever reason, and you're
You
like,
stumble
yeah,
across it and you're like, have you seen this? And I was
Yeah.
like, no.
yeah. I only me. I think there, again, like this show, there's only 3 people I know. You, me,
that
and a
watch
guy. The guy I work with that have
Yeah.
So right.
But I just thought it was great. I think I guess it's based on a book. So
Speaking of what, come on, give me a book recommendation though, because you read like an insane amount of books.
book recommendation.
Yeah.
Like for something just recently.
Whatever, because were you the one that gave me AJ Fickery? We always you left it one time,
story
right?
just- yeah, I finished it.
It's a movie. It's like you can watch it.
It just came out this fall. It was
saw it.
not like in the theaters at all. And
Does that mean it just sucks and we shouldn't watch it though?
No,
What
I
does
think-
that mean?
I hope not.
I'm afraid.
My guess is it was just a small film,
Right.
and I don't think they're putting a lot of small films into theaters right now.
It's on the plane on the way here, and I did not
Are
watch
you
it.
serious?
Yes, and I didn't watch it because I was nervous about it because I liked that book.
That book was great.
Right, and she just released it tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I just finished that.
Yeah.
Okay, what did you think of that book?
I really liked it. I really liked it. Did you not like it or?
Here's what I loved the first half of it.
Okay.
I sort of got really frustrated with the 2 main characters towards the final third.
Because they can't ever get together. That's that thing.
Yeah, but
right?
they were just being like, in my opinion, is they're both just sort of being like idiots, and it's frustrating, But I did appreciate how then the book wrapped itself up. But between the 2,
right.
I think the storied life of AJ Fickery was better.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like those 2. I mean, those are the only 2 books I've read from her, and I'd like her 2 books because she seems to always pick or write about these right from the viewpoint of a protagonist that no one seems to write. Like, the AJ Fickery, the main character, he's not like your usual main character or something, right? And then Tomorrow was like a Hoppa kid from L.A., and then the Jewish girl from Beverly Hills. I don't know. I think she seems to be able to write outside herself, like pick these characters that she,
creates. They're really interesting.
Yes.
I think personally, I think one of the reasons I enjoyed maybe A.J. Fickery a little bit better is it's sort of, and not that all books would have to be this, but at the time when I was reading that book, the book sort of has a more uplifting, sort of happy tone to it, I would say.
Right.
And I just
even though it's not that, well, it is sort of.
Yeah. But at the time, I really sort of appreciated that. And
right.
I just thought it was. But both of those books are well done. Yeah, but I just finished that one, so yeah, it was good.
It was good. So read that, people. Read that.
Yeah, check
although
it
that's
out.
probably not off the beat. I mean, is that a bestseller yet? It's got to be. Is that?
I don't know.
I mean, they made a movie.
Tomorrow's been on a bunch of book lists this year. I don't think the A.J. Fickery one was.
No.
So that should be part A or B would be The Story Life of A.J. Fickery. Both Jim and I would approve going out and checking that. It's a good read.
Yeah, so. I think you abandoned that at my house at some point.
I think I finished it on the way out to visit you.
Yeah.
Or I really liked it and I just brought it out for you. It's one of two.
I think your luggage was overweight. And you didn't want to be charged, and so you just
it wasn't France. It wasn't like I got it on shopping.
Whatever, you just snuck it. Whatever. I just found it wedged somewhere with other detritus from your visit that you had to jettison before you got on the plane
to get home.
Yeah. Speaking of which, when are you coming out? You come out soon?
Yeah, next year. Some for sure. No, I love being out there. So, but I was just there 2 months ago. So no, that's not right. I was there 5 months ago, 6 months ago.
It just felt like 2 months ago,
right? Easter now, yeah. So
it felt like 2 months ago.
No, I'll definitely get out there again soon. I love it out there. Yeah. So
these peanuts are good.
Well, thank you. All right. Any final words or thoughts before we wrap up episode 8? I can't thank you enough for being on.
Oh,
it's been great.
Too much fun. We could actually be doing this all night. By the way, I think we're probably going to go to the bar after we are done here, or maybe we're just going to mix another drink.
We might just do both. So.
Right,
but actually, we could probably just do another episode and come up. We could come up with 15 off the beaten path things.
Yeah. So we're just going to roll right into episode 9. Was it episode 9? Which that's your number, right?
9 is my favorite number.
Yeah, so we're just going to roll right into episode 9. So if you just give us a sec, I'm going to go powder my nose. I'm going to get back into makeup.
Real quick about numbers, though. Mm-hmm. I have a surprising success with 22 at roulette. And whenever I hit that, I tell you, and then you always are like, you owe me part of that.
You're right, that's my number.
That was your jersey number.
Right, that's my number. That's my number. I actually got a haircut for this show and was really disappointed to find out that this wasn't a video situation, to be honest with you.
Well, we're working on upgrades.
I was a little disappointed. I came in, I was ready for the close-up.
You look great.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Well, thank you, everyone, and we'll see you again soon on the Botanical Trails. Thanks for joining us. Feel free to subscribe to us on whichever platform you listen to your podcasts. Also, I want to take a quick minute to thank Darin VanderMolen for all of his help behind the scenes. Without him, this podcast probably wouldn't even exist, and his help is greatly appreciated. Hope you have a great week, and we will look forward to seeing you the next time we go down the Botanical Trails. This has been a Shits and Giggles production.